So how comfortable are you with your light language?
Ah, I
To
don't know.
enough to share it, or enough like to to me is how I feel when it comes, right? So I was just curious if it feels that it's coming from the heart. For me, it's good if it's coming from the head, or sometimes it's even hard to know where it's coming from. But
Yeah,
how the does it feel when it comes? Basically, is basic is telling me if it's in the highest and best.
I feel like, if I drop to my heart, like if it's for someone else, then I would feel there's energy flow, and then there are moments when there's no flow. So I guess the mind would interpret, then how can I be sure it's all useful, the whole process.
I love that
Especially,
you say that. Sorry, I'm not.
yes, yes. Yeah, that's mm.
I got excited. Um, I love that you say that because um, there's profundity in the silence, and there's communication in the silence, and there's expansion of what comes through oftentimes in the silence. So the mind feels like at times like a pause, or in the flow of, let's say, a stream of consciousness of light language or something coming through, right? The mind's like, now what, right? But if we allow ourselves to in that moment, just with remain in the flow of immaculate and unwavering trust and surrender, and then we expand it into another level of childlike curiosity, and as the witnessing observer, then we can start to really recognize, okay, we're there's so much taking place in the silence. There's so much taking place in the pause, and sometimes we need that. We need that moment, right? And the more comfortable and trusting and neutral and curious that you are as the holder of the space and the conductor of the symphony, right? The more that the other participants are able to receive of it, because when you're the holder of the space can only be held to what degree of spaciousness we're allowing for ourselves, right? And that we're conducting, right? So, and I love that Madeline brings in the felt sense of it, because the heart knows. The heart absolutely knows, and can discern instantaneously what is aligned and what is not, what feels expansive and what feels contracting, right? What feels illuminous and what feels, in duality or polarity to that, right? And here's another way in which it's a really beautiful and navigation system and compass that we have within us, is that the heart is in direct communication with our nervous system, as we know, right? So if I'm in certain instances, and this is not this is just participating, let's say, in daily life, when something feels, and especially the more crystalline we get, because everything is so felt, right? It's like, woof, wow, like the subtleties are no longer subtle. Everything is very clear and communicative, right? And the more density we release of our physical bodies and the clearer we become, the more purification, right? The more and more and more our instrument is fine-tuned, the more crystal it becomes, the more every single thread of sound, like a crystal bowl that has been curated and created in the most pristine nature, right? That's us. That's our divine design, right? So the more and more crystalline we get, the more we can connect and feel all the different threads that are in participation. So when something that is not aligned in the highest source, divine light, love, law, and order, we'll just say, and we know that that's a very condensed description, right? Within that, there's so much more. But when that happens, our nervous system instantly starts to respond, right? It's like our spidey senses are like, oof, wait a second, hold on a second. That's there's something off about this, right? So really starting to trust, and I love that. Go into it with the felt sense, try on some different experiences, if you will, and see, what happens with your body's response to it, so that you can even build a greater system of gauging what feels in the highest alignment, what may not, right? Yeah, love it. Love the questions. Thank you.